Hello there, it's Tim again. I would like to show you today how I experienced NetBeans in the recent past. I've been experimenting with TypeScript and trying to contribute to the TypeScript NetBeans plugin. So here I want to show you how to install that plugin and how to generally do plugins that might not have been compiled for you, so that you can compile them and you can use them and you can hopefully extend them. So what I'll do first is I'll download the release candidate of the NetBeans 8.1 IDE, and I'll just do that quickly. So I'll just download the full one, I need it for anything. So now I've downloaded the release candidate. You can see here I can basically install it on Linux by just using bash in the downloads folder, executing the 8.1 release candidate. That will launch the installer. I've got Java installed already. This is not part of the tutorial. So I usually use Apache Tomcat. So hang on. I will just get the JDK home for this, and that should work. And it's now installing. I will pause here again. So now you can see how NetBeans is being installed. There are a few gotchas with Java. You gotta install Java properly, and I recommend using the Oracle Java, even though it's not open source, because the open source has a few issues. Even though I'm all for open source, but in this case it might actually be better to use the Oracle distribution. So that's installing the whole NetBeans platform basically. With all the programming languages that it supports out of the box, and as you will see in a few minutes, I will show you how to install plugins that have not been distributed on the web. I will also upload this this plugin that I've been trying to help with. It's called the Everlaw NetBeans TypeScript plugin, and you can find it at this address, Everlaw/NetBeans TypeScript on GitHub. So I can close that, and we'll just wait for the installer to finish. Okay, the installer is finished pretty much. I will contribute to the project since I've been liking it, and yeah, I guess it's now installed. Now I just have to start it. And I won't import anything just for this demonstration. So here you can do all the startup tutorials to get you started using NetBeans. I've always been using NetBeans for quite a while, but just recently I've got even more into it because it's a really good tool for even doing your own applications. And so that's it. I will click on Tools here, Plugins, and check for updates. and usually I install the JVI plugin and a couple of others. Like I would install the dark look and feel, the Gradle support, and JVI for NetBeans. That's probably the main reason why I use it, because the JVI plugin is quite good. So for that you have to do something that I found not very trivial. You have to actually install the update center, and then you can actually install the plugin. I do that one as well, and that's it. I install these plugins. Then we have to accept the license agreements, and let's downloading the plugins now. There we are. We just have to restart the IDE after accepting a not signed plugin. That can happen a lot with open source plugins, that they're not signed properly, but it should be fine anyway. So here we go. We have the NetBeans IDE loaded in the dark theme that is recommended by Geertjan Wielenga. You can customize the look of it a little bit. I usually just increase the font size to 14, and that's it. And then we wanted to, the crucial part, enable the JVI plugin. So I check for newest. That's very important. Click that you have to do, and then it will appear here, and then you just install it. It's very easy to install plugins. You just have to go to this plugins under tools, and then you can find usually the available plugins, and if not, I will show you the other way of installing it as well. So there we go. We restart again, and then we should have it. So now we have the JVI plugin here. I usually change a couple of options because I'm a heavy VI user. So I usually change this to off. I turn this off as well. This fixes a bug, I think, on Ubuntu as well. And then we want to ignore the dialog for the check problems. And then I just enable that to do the code completion stuff. A couple of more here. I enable line numbers, clipboard. There was one thing for the clipboard, so that you can copy into the system clipboard. I'm not sure if it's this one, but it might be. Then the search, I usually use smart case, so that if you put a capital letter, it automatically uses the case sensitive search, but if not, then it's case insensitive. Buffer modifications, this one you have to turn on, otherwise the backspace doesn't work properly. And then I usually set these to 4 and these to 4. What else? And then you can make your map commands, but the most important one is this one, the real escape, which is just control open bracket, and then I usually do the control V one, and I think that's it. Yeah. Yep, that's it. Backspace, blah blah blah. Okay, I think that's it. Okay, as you see there, HTML5 is not enabled yet. That can be done automatically, so I won't do it right now. So now you need to get the plugin that you want to install, and I would like to install the TypeScript editor plugin, which you can just get by downloading the zip or cloning the repository. You can just go ahead and download the zip and unzip it. That's the fastest way, but I'm just gonna actually copy the repository just to show you that. So you can clone it with git clone, and then it should take the plugin down. See, it's very small, so it doesn't take that long. So this is an annoying window. Okay, so just open the project. So we've got it on the temp at the moment because I don't need it anywhere else. So you can just open the project, and this is an Ant build, so it should just work quite nicely with NetBeans out of the box. So now it's scanning the project, and it should have it indexed in a second. And with this plugin, there's a bit of an annoyance here. At the moment, you have to fix the imports, and I'll just do that. So the IDE is a really good tool because you don't have to do these things by hand. You can just fix the imports by importing the module, and it's pretty much all automatic. So now you see it's got the module in a compilable state. What you can do now, and I'll show you anyway, even though it will fail, I will do the build. And it fails, right? So you can usually see the reason why it fails. I know the reason, and I won't go into detail here right now, but I'll show you how to compile this one. So what you need then is the TypeScript language, because it needs it to compile. And what I want is the source code in this case. So I choose the release that is used for this, and then in this case you have to download the zip file because we don't want to work directly on TypeScript itself. Okay, that's downloaded now. I will just quickly open up another tab and unzip that file. You need to do it in your home folder. This should work on macOS as well. I've done it on macOS. On macOS you will need to change a file. You will need to change the build file. So I'll just quickly show you that. Where is it? Important files, and then the build script. You see, where is it? I can't see it. Yeah, there it is, the Node.js executable on macOS. You will need to put in here user local bin and then node, I think. and that's the change you have to make to be able to compile it there. But on Linux it should work like that. So I'm hoping I have Node installed. Yeah, so it should just work. So what I do now is I just do a build, and it looks like it's working. See, it's successful. So now you can go ahead and right click it here and do a create NBM file, and that should build your NetBeans module file, which you can then open up. So you can go to tools, plugins, and then download it, add plugins, and then you go to the folder where it is. We got it under temp, right? NBTS build, and there it is, the NetBeans TypeScript NBM file. You just open that and install it. Of course it won't be signed properly because you just compiled it, but then you can restart, and then you should be able to create your own TypeScript projects. At this stage, not everything is supported just yet, but you can create a new project and make it a HTML application, for example. So see there, it activates the HTML5 stuff. Just click finish for now. So this is a sample project. You can actually create a sample project in your modules. Head over to Geertjan's website, or the NetBeans .org website, and you can find the learning trail there, and you should be able to find out how to create a sample project. We could maybe add a sample TypeScript project there, but this is a sample HTML5 project. So this just has an index file, and you can add your own TypeScript files. I just do it with a right click usually, other, and then I think it's on the other TypeScript file, and you can create your new cool script. So at the moment I believe it doesn't support compiling on the fly just yet, but let's just try that anyway. So TypeScript is just JavaScript extended with types, so you can just write normal ECMAScript 5 code in it. And I'll show you quickly a little trick that I just figured out not so long ago. So there are actually things called code templates, where you can do shorthand stuff. And in Java, I used to only know this one here, and then tab would complete it to system out print line. But it has that for any language. So you can do this in HTML, you can do this in JavaScript, or now actually in TypeScript as well. So you can say, for example, CL, right? And that's expanding to console log. And then you can put your string in there, and then it should be compiled to JavaScript if I write it, but that feature doesn't exist currently. But I believe the Everlaw team is working already on the save the compile on save method. But let's just do it manually for now. So we've got the project under this directory. So in here you should have your files. So there's a public HTML folder there where your TypeScript file is, and then you should be able to compile it with your compiler. So I believe this doesn't work right now on this machine, but I'll try it anyway. So it's not installed. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to install Node.js and TypeScript, the TypeScript compiler. So Node.js is currently installed in the system manually, but I recommend actually installing it with NVM and NPM. So NPM is a Node package manager, and you can find out how to install it on the website. If you just Google NPM, you should be able to install it quite easily. So I have NPM. Maybe I shouldn't go into detail like this, but I actually recommend installing it with NVM and then into your home directory. But for now, I'll just install the TypeScript compiler, and that's what does that. It might actually fail because I have to do it as a super user. So there it is. Oh, I think that's an old version. Well, that's good enough. Okay, so let's just compile it, tsc, and then just the TypeScript file. You can change options. You can do tsc help, and it tells you all the options of the compiler. And the simplest is, of course, to just compile it, and it will automatically compile it to, I believe, ECMAScript 3 or 5, one of those two. You can explicitly tell it to do source maps, which I think it does by default, but let's just try it. So tsc. So that just compiles the source code. No, there's no source map, so we might want to do at least the source map one. Source map, and then the other useful thing that you can do is watch the file, and you can even do it with globbing. So you can do star.ts, and you can view your, you can use your project directory and so on. Anyway, that just watches the file, and then then it should generate these files. So it has the source map there and the JavaScript file there. So what the source map does, I shouldn't be doing this, and should be doing this in here. So what the source map does, it creates a link in the compiled file, and it links back to the TypeScript file. So if you so on the source map is basically just a mapping between the file. You should probably know this anyway. So what you can do is you can directly debug the TypeScript file in your browser. So let's just make this a bit smaller. So you could do, I hope I have this in, yep. So you could have your HTTP server. This is a Node.js HTTP server. You should be able to just go to that page. So I've got it running on 0.0, which exposes it to the public, or to the, at least to your network, and then you should be able to access your web page. So at the moment there's not much to see there. What you can do then in your index HTML file, you can reference the file, and this is again a nice way to show the code templates. So SCR and then tab, and then it automatically completes. So new TypeScript.js. So this should now bring up your developer tools, F12, and now you should see your console log statement in the console. There you go. There it is. And then, since you're watching the file in here, right, it's watching the file for changes. It should compile every time the file changes. So you can go back to your script. Let's just close the other ones. And you can, for example, create a class. See, it has syntax highlighting, animal, I don't know, that's the most generic I can think of. And then, I don't know, a method make noise, and it returns void, and all it does is a console log of noise, right? And then you can say class dog extends animal, right? And you have the code completion there. See how nicely it does it, just the normal NetBeans way. And then you can override the make noise method, for example, with something else. For example, how do you spell wow? And then you can say let, so that's a TypeScript keyword. Let dog equal new dog. Right, where is it? Down there. And then you can say dog dot make noise, and it has the types are flowing through here, like they explained so nicely. You don't even have to declare the type here because it's implicit because of the new dog keyword. You don't actually need semicolons. TypeScript will automatically add them for you. So in the generated JavaScript file, you get all the stuff you needed. So this looks a bit complicated, but that's probably the space of another tutorial to explain why this is so. So there you go. There's TypeScript support. I haven't actually tried this, but there might be a way to refactor this now. No, it's not there yet. So we still have to get the rename or the refactoring functions working in the TypeScript plugin. Anyway, so I will try to upload my the generated NBM file so that you can just download it and install it. But at this stage it's still in heavy development and it's not production ready, so be warned, it might not work all the time, but the syntax completion is actually already really good, and I actually did the code templates under Geertjan's supervision. So I did quite a few. I basically took all the JavaScript ones and changed them. There might be some of them not quite right yet. So there's, for example, this one here. Tab creates a anonymous, well, a lambda function, an arrow function. So it's just the keyword arrow. So if you have, for example, if you have, I don't know, jQuery. Let's do jQuery. So, for example, you can load your TypeScript definition files with TSD. It's not installed, so I might have to install it. Just do that now. So TSD is another useful program for TypeScript. It pulls down the or it manages the TypeScript definition files. And you can just install it through npm. So now we have the TypeScript definition program, and we want to install jQuery, say, and it pulls down the definitions of jQuery, hopefully. So then it creates a folder here under typings, and it creates a couple of files there. Well, in this case only one file, jQuery file. There should be another file. Ah, is that in this folder? Huh? Is it not there? Maybe only after 2 dependencies have been created. So what's another thing that we could depend on? I don't know, Backbone, maybe? Or let's say Angular. Angular. Huh. Normally it creates another file under typings. Oh well. Anyway, and here you can then add a reference with the code template of ref, and then you can specify your folder. Unfortunately, that doesn't work yet with syntax highlighting, so I'll just do it manually. So I'll just grab that. Oops, that does the clipboard thing, doesn't it? So there you go, it's valid now because it found it. That's a nice feature to have. And now you can do things like with jQuery, right? You can do the oops. So you do let's do that. We wrap it in a function. So we put an arrow function in there, and then we say $, and then you get into the function, and then you execute it with jQuery. That's usually how I do it. What happened there? Yeah. So there you go. It does the TypeScript plugin does code formatting, I believe. Yes. So that's how you do this, and then in this case, this will actually be the window and not the function that you're executing, because it's an arrow function. So let's just do something. Maybe we take jQuery and use the body function, and then it has the nice, does it not? It doesn't. That's weird. Well, in that case I have to do jQuery static, and then it'll have the syntax completion. So we want to append maybe an element, and that can be another jQuery thing, and that could be just a P, which is a paragraph. Actually, that'll create the DOM element as such. Let's make it an H1. Hello, TypeScript, and there you go. That should now not work because we don't have jQuery. So let's just grab jQuery. You can do that in many ways. I think you can do it with npm jQuery. So do we have it? No. Where is it? Oh, it put it in dot dot. Weird. Oh, it's because the package JSON is in there. Huh. Okay. Okay, let's just move it for now. Okay, now we've got it here, and it should be there. So then I do, then I get the jQuery file. Although this should actually work with, and here, with syntax completion in the HTML. Oops. I'm not used to doing that yet. So node modules, and then syntax completion. I want to grab the distribution, and maybe I want to have the min file because it has a map. And then it should just work. So I go back to my browser, and there we have hello from TypeScript. Yeah, I think this is almost enough. So if you have an idea for another code template, you can add that to the TypeScript editor. It is simply in, where is it? There's an XML file somewhere. I forget where it is. It must be here. Yep. So there's the code templates. You can do this for any language, by the way. You can also, if you don't want to do it for here, you can do it through tools, options, and then I think it's editor, and then code templates. And here you have the language, and you can add your own code templates for the language that you use. So let's say, where is TypeScript? See, that's something we haven't done yet properly, I think. I think it might still be under JavaScript. No, that's weird. It should be in here. But anyway, so to edit the TypeScript code templates, you can just go into this XML file and find your function and then change it. See this one here. You basically just have a CData attribute text node, and then you put in your stuff. So for example, you can have variables in there, which are introduced with the $sign and the curly braces, and then you can define a default and what the variable name is, and then you can do the cursor thing, and there are lots of these kind of things that you can do. Like for example, I just added this one here. It should be fairly straightforward. It's just a code template tag with an attribute of abbreviation, where you put the short name of the thing that you want to expand, and then you just put the code of the expansion into there, and the default, and just a variable name that you want to use. And there are special variable names, like I only know one, which is the cursor one, and then there's also selection, so you can do, so I believe there's a selection. Oh, maybe he took it out. Oh no, there it is. There's a selection one that I believe, I haven't actually tried this, but I believe it takes the selection. So if you select some code, you overwrite it with your abbreviation, and then it automatically puts the selection inside the curly braces, which is quite nice, or whatever your programming language does. Yeah, I think this concludes this tutorial. I've been trying to get into Antler as well, which is another suggestion from Geertjan. He suggested to use Antler to do the parsing and lexing of the TypeScript language, which I believe is a really big task, and we actually didn't end up doing it because Everlaw came around with their version of the plugin, which uses the TypeScript tools that do the code completion and so on. So there is a nice service that does that, and this is actually a nice implementation of using that service, because it's actually quite efficient the way that it uses it. And as you can see, I mean, I don't know how it is with huge projects, but so far I haven't really hit a bottleneck. It's pretty fast and pretty neat. So see, you have jQuery there. I mean, that's maybe not the best example to do this kind of thing, but you can do JQ, and it automatically comes up with all the jQuery stuff. Yeah, so have fun with TypeScript and NetBeans. Thank you.